following podcast does contain mature language and, more importantly, spoilers for the MSQ of Final Fantasy XIV, up to and including Endwalker. You have been warned, and now, on with the show. From the many realms of Eorzea to the distant reaches of the Two Moons via the magic of podcasting, this is episode 5 of A Podcast Reborn, a show celebrating our journey in the past, present, and possible future of Final Fantasy XIV. This episode is being recorded on Wednesday, January 8th of 2022. Apparently, I don't know it's 2022. My name is Brian Black, otherwise known as Ro, and have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with a suspended free trial which you can't play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn, and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 for free with no restrictions on playtime? With me, as always, are my wonderful two co-hosts. First off, a gremlin who's currently out on bail for stealing Kryle's hood. Hi, Megan.
Hi, the true crime is Kryle hiding her gorgeous, gorgeous hair.
And speaking of partners in crime, with her is an old man who knows his role and is currently putting together an Ocean's 11 crew to pull off a casino heist and reminding me of what year it is. Hi, Brandon.
Hi there. So, quick story. I did a trial roulette the other day on my Paladin tank, and I ended up getting Leviathan. I told the other tank, hey, I haven't tagged much. I haven't done this one as a tank. Do you want to go ahead and main tank it? And he said, well, I'm actually pretty new too. I guess we're on the same boat.
My God.
I think that's the biggest crime of this podcast. I
remember when you were like getting offended about dad jokes, but no, you own it.
I am embracing it, and also I ran out of sad quotes to give you emotional whiplash with in my intro.
So now that we have moved beyond our Endwalker spoiler warning, at least in the middle of the show. So if you didn't hear the warning at the beginning, Endwalker spoilers are good from here on out. So you've already been warned. Now that we've moved on into that phase, we've also apparently moved on into the full-on embracing the dad joke phase. So.
Also, I just want to point out that it's from the many realms of Eorzea to the distant reaches of the Two Moons via the magic of podcasting and tiny rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
And tiny rabbits. And is it Eorzea or is it Atheris? I mean...
Well, okay, Eorzea is our continent. And then Atheris is the entire world.
Also, a lot of people refer to Eorzea as a realm in and of itself. So I guess it's your definition of what a realm is?
Well,
True.
It's kind of like if America was also called Earth, I guess. I don't know.
I personally always imagine like a realm as being like a singular like nation state. So
yeah, that's true too.
But freaking Gaius Van Balsar, how many times have we all heard him talk about the realm, referring to all of Eorzea, because we do the MSQ roulette ad freaking nauseum.
That's true. I think the realm is like all of everything that's attached that you don't have to travel by sea to get to, but also Limsa counts. Because it's not that far off.
It's an island just off the coast.
And also Kugane counts, so.
Well, you can like see it from. I think if you could see it from the other land.
These are the deep questions that don't get answered on other Final Fantasy XIV podcasts.
Are we actually answering them? I thought we were just speculating wildly.
Yes.
It's cool. Trust me, bro. That's my source.
Yep. So we'll leave that up for debate. Wow. Okay. So this is our first episode of the new year. Thank you for patiently waiting for us. And we are now in patch 6.0.5. So Pandemonium Savage is out. I'm Brandon, Megan. I'm sure you are both, already gotten your Savage clear of Pandemonium, right?
Are you kidding me? I just finished normal like 2 days ago.
But I have done I have gotten my Heidelin weapons 3 jobs now. And
nice.
I've gotten most of my Zodiac jewelry, but I still need to get my healing stuff. And I have healed Zodiac, which is actually pretty fun on stage. It's a good barrier fight. And if you don't bring a barrier class in there, you're kind of it's a toughie. But yeah, I like doing the Savage trials I keep wanting to say primals, but that's not always the case. The big boss peoples.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, in this case, I mean, Zodiark and Hyland are about the most primal of primals you can get. So
that is true. Yes.
Which, of course, begs the question of what the hell is the end singer?
Our problem. Everyone's problem.
The end singer is almost like an anti-primal, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Well, yeah.
Whatever it is, it definitely made for a great final encounter, and I really enjoyed that fight.
Yeah, she's whatever happens when you let a depressed emo boy have creation magic.
Yeah, and then send hundreds and hundreds of Birdgold clones out throughout the galaxy.
Yeah, I feel like Hythlodaeus should have been a lot more angry about that, because I'm pretty sure it was his responsibility to like monitor what concepts were approved for release into the wider world. And I think the wider universe freaking counts, Hermes.
Yeah, he did that all on his own, though. He was doing it all under the table because he didn't trust the system anymore.
And he was concerned about taxes. I mean, obviously Hermes needs to be tried for tax evasion. So.
Oh my god, that's how we get him.
Although I guess would have required Hythlodaeus to ever actually get angry, because I'm pretty sure I never once see him get angry.
No.
He is perpetual chill.
He's too sexy to get angry. All of his anger got taken out and put into Emmett Silk. That's how it worked. And all of Emmett Silk's chill got taken out and put into Hythlodaeus.
That's not wrong.
There's a very, oh my gosh. So I haven't watched the series, but it's weird saying that, but it's like there's a series on Amazon, and the two main characters are like diametrically opposed, and oh my god, what's the name of the thing? Man, I'm pulling
genre.
No. It's like
like what genre?
It's like one's an angel and one's not.
And Good Omens.
Are you talking about Good Omens?
Yes, yes.
I read that book.
Okay, so I was gonna say there's almost kind of a Good Omens vibe there. And I say this not having watched the series at all, but I know like kind of the two main characters.
Man. It's not a long book. It's really good. It's Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Really good.
I suddenly need to see David Tennant cosplaying Emmett Silk.
Oh my god, he would be pretty much perfect, I think. Not like an exact face match, because obviously it's a computer man.
Mm-hmm.
But I think personality-wise, and he could get the intonation really well.
Yep. And to be fair, this is still the man that I thought voiced Xenos when he first got introduced in Stormlight. I swear to God, it sounds like him.
Oh my
as soon as he removes the helmet, it's gone. And it's obvious it's not the same dude. But leading up to that, I'm like, he's here. I love this villain now. Now, I hate his guts.
Aw.
Well, you killed him.
Thank God.
Random question here. For Endwalker so far, let's just say that the story of Endwalker, because everything after this is really new stuff, a whole new journey. Who is your, outside of the Warrior of Light, of course, but who is your MVP? Like, who's your favorite character, whether they are new, old, where they get a lot of screen time or very little screen time? Which one kind of steals the show for you, just looking at the Endwalker story alone?
All right, Megan, I'm going to let you have this one first, because I think my answer will shock you.
I think my answer will do the opposite of shock anybody, because it's Grahatia, because I'm a huge simp for him. And I thought he was great, and I really liked seeing him come into his own, like his own, like it to be his own personality and not have to hide his identity. And like, I think that what I liked about the Endwalker storyline so much was it showed that he doesn't really like being a leader. He doesn't like being in charge, but like he's good at it and he has the capability to do it, and he'll step up if he has to. But like, just getting to watch him run around and be a huge nerd and geek out over stuff and be your little buddy, I was like, oh, he gets to be happy and have his little nerd dreams. This makes me very happy. But yeah. Also, I will say in the oh god, what's the final zone? The
Ultima Thule.
Ultima Thule. There we go. when he gives you that long speech and then gives you the no homo bro fist, I was like, oh my god, why the bro fist? Come on. This is not a bro fist moment, Grah. But even that is like, you huge fucking nerd.
Awesome. What about you, Brandon?
For me, it's a tie. It's the Elpis trio. It's Venat, Hith, and yes, Emmett Selk. I have completely 180'd my opinion on Emmett.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, he is no longer a character I ultimately despise and think all the shipping with is kind of gross. But now, after what we see of the actual frickin' Hades, the man untempered by Zodiark, and get to see how he reacts after being kind of sort of brought back to life near the end of the story. Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite characters now. He's snarky, he's sarcastic, but ultimately he is helpful and he wants what's best for everyone. And seeing him like that without the Zodiark tempering, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see it now. So yeah, it's them. I love getting to see Hythlodaeus, like his actual body, not just his random ghost in freaking Amarat. And Venat, well, it was great to have all of the paranoia about her tempering us and being ultimately the main bad guy. It was great to have all that debunked. She really is the big good, and she was amazing. And yeah, those three just completely stole the show as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I feel like oh, go ahead.
it really was their story, I think. It was, and that's something that that part of it was really bringing together all the pieces that we've been trying to put together for so long, and it was so satisfying.
It really was.
I'm going to go with the joke answer, but it's also it's also somewhat sincere too. It's Living Way.
Not Pudding Way?
Huh?
Not Pudding Way?
Not Pudding Way, Living
Oh
Way.
my
The leader of the Loprits. It just she has relatively few lines compared to many of the other characters in the story, but just her delivery on the lines is so perfect. And it was, I think she was much needed. I mean, the writing for her was great, obviously. She was much needed levity at points where it was needed. And it's just again, her delivery almost every time made me laugh. And I did not expect a tiny, cute rabbit character to make me laugh in this story.
Oh, those were cries of joy.
Yes.
Anyway.
and then, like, near the end with the end credits, it's like, oh, the sounds of celebration or something like that. It was pretty good. So yeah, I guess yeah, I'm still gonna say MVP, but I think I think she strikes such a chord in me because I did not expect myself to actually enjoy that kind of character, and but in a story like this where it's just like real emotional, real deep, you got some serious stuff going on. She provided some great balance where it counted. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I've gone from. It's funny because if you compare like my two MVPs in Shadowbringers, obviously Emmett Selk, like so many other people, but the coin complete or flip the coin completely flip the script for Endwalker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. Do either of you remember who my MVP for Shadowbringers was? Did we talk about that?
I don't remember.
I don't either. Oh,
Did we pick one? Because my answer's still the same.
Well, we picked favorite husbandos and waifus, but we never really discussed like MVP. Although for me, Emmett Selk was it.
I would say for Shadowbringers, my MVP is probably still Graha, but the twins are a close second. I think they really came into their own, especially Alice. Yeah.
Quick,
Jinx, one of us owes the other a coat.
But especially the like post, the patch content, Alice, they really came into her own, with curing tempering and all of that.
Yeah.
And then also seeing her grow or like into Endwalker, or when she's like talking about kind of always being an Alpha No Shadow and everything. I'm like, oh, I hope like next X pack she can have some super big hero moments. Or
I think
in
we're
the
going
patch.
that way.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, I honestly just, without whether it's going to be in later content patches for Endwalker or the next expansion, I feel like they are subtly focusing attention on Graha and Alice to be kind of like the Y'shtola and Thancred going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, do you think that at some point, like, the twins are going to be like, oh, we have to leave for 6 months, and then they're going to come back and they're going to be like adult elves and models, and we're going to be like, what the fuck?
I feel like I've brought this up before, but yeah, I absolutely think they're going to do that. Alphina's going to come back looking like a white-haired Amaric, and Alice is going to come back looking like a red-wearing Ysayle, and the fandom is going to freaking go nuts.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be absolutely adorable. Me.
I'm kind of, part of me is like, yes, I want this tremendously, and part of me is like, no, my precious babies. Stay little forever.
I think a time skip in the next expansion is a relatively safe bet. I mean, it's a safer bet than most.
Maybe the end of the content pack cycle or the patch cycle will end with us all going our separate ways for realsies.
Yeah. It's all going to depend on, because this patch cycle is going to break the cycle, I guess. Because I mean, every other expansion, patch 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3 kind of resolve whatever minor plot lines are left over, and then we get another final boss. Except they said that the complete story would be told in this expansion.
Yeah,
that would bring the whole Ascian and Final Day story to a close. So wherever we go from here is going to be brand spanking new.
I mean, although there's still lingering Ascian stuff, sort of. Although it's kind of like Ascian before they were Ascian with Pandemonium and such.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the limit of the Ascian involvement we're going to get.
Right.
I still think Pandemonium is going to end with whatever the hell is responsible for this being the thing that Medion uses to kick off the final days.
That's probably linked in somehow. Or I think it's La Habrea is up to no good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think that he's tied into it somehow. Like he secretly wants this to happen. He's found out about it some way. Because one of the major plot points they haven't revealed is there was some sort of unearthly noise that kicked off the final days. I think Pandemonium is the source of it, and I think at the end we're going to have that kick off, and then, oh, hey, look, the final day started. Well, back to your time.
Good luck with that. I mean, not really, because you gotta
have fun, Ancients. I know how the story ends. I'm skipping this again because I lived it once.
There's also a very solid possibility that something in Pandemonium that they plant the seed for something that's happening in future content. Whether, and it doesn't even necessarily need to be Ascian related. It could be that one of the things that was created in Pandemonium, you fight it, it gets out, or someone creates something which gets out and you don't fight it now, but hey, maybe an expansion or two down the line, we come back and revisit that thing.
Yeah, possibly. Or they like discovered some other new thing that they're playing around with. And it's causing all this havoc, but then in the end we help seal them. They're like, it will be sealed for 10,000 years.
Historically,
like, oh no.
Yeah, historically they've tried to avoid having anything in at least the 8-man raids. Well, the Alliance raid that has been tossed out the window with the Crystal Tower now being mandatory. They've historically tried to leave anything in the 8-man raids out of the main story quest, just so you don't have to feel like you have to do it to experience the story and understand what's going on in the MSQ. While at the same time, like, if you do this, you'll understand the overall story better, which, was definitely the case with Eden and Omega. You understand more of what the hell was going on that caused, a bunch of bad stuff to happen, way before all this. But again, the script has been broken with Endwalker, so maybe you're right. Maybe this will set up a threat. I don't think so. I still believe that this is going to be another piece of the time loop that we're going to get to see and have that resolved. And, we'll have something brand new going on with whatever comes after Endwalker. But I suppose we'll see whenever 5.1 rolls around. Or is it 5? No, it's 6.1. Sorry. I have been working out all afternoon. I am broken.
Hey, at least you still know it's 2022. I guess one of the things since 6.0.5 has been out, it's been a really different week for myself. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of week it's been like for you guys. It's the very first day or two of Endwalker. I definitely dived a bit into the story, but at the same time, I took a little bit of time to try to make some gil with some quick gathering of some of the early gathering mats and stuff like that, which were going for outrageous prices. And with 6.05, I went even deeper into the whole gil making game because my goodness, people are desperate for gear and people are desperate for materials to craft that gear. And I had no idea how obsessed people are with pentamelding. My God.
Oh, yeah.
And the odds of pentamelding for people who are relatively new to Final Fantasy XIV, this is my full understanding of it. So Megan, Brandon, feel free to add or correct me here. Mm-hmm. Pentamelding lets you add additional materia to certain pieces of gear beyond just the normal 1 or 2 slots that you get. And usually this applies to crafted gear. The highest possible crafted gear in the game, recipes for it became available with 6.05, and pentamelding, advanced materia melding is available on that stuff. So instead of having up to 2 materia on it, you can have 5. However, when you try to do advanced materia melding, the odds of doing it are really, really low. And that's why materia is so freaking expensive.
Yeah, Ward's been telling me about, because he hangs out like by the market board during crafting, and he's been telling me that he's been seeing people trying to pentameld and then they like lose 15 materia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now he's pointing to his screen. Apparently it's happening right now.
I mean, I literally saw someone type in chat in Limsa that they had lost 12 million gil attempting to pentameld. What?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I don't get to that level of. I barely ever remember to meld materia into the gear I do have. I have not touched a single extreme trial or savage raid fight. I don't care about any of that. What I have been doing is leveling different jobs so that I could see all the role quests. And then the other day I started leveling mining and botany. So I could get maps for our free company's map night, and also to start doing the studium quests. All of those things reward materia just for completing those quests. I have made a pretty decent chunk of change just selling that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sweaty, but I don't pentameld. I do like Google like what is stat priority for summoner, and then try to get decent materia in my gear. But yeah, I don't go nuts over it. And like honestly, you don't need it unless you're super pushing progression, and like I do not have the fortitude of will to get back into high-end rating in any game. Never mind this one where the rating is like so complicated.
I mean, you've done better than I have. You've jumped into extreme trials. I don't really want that stress. I mean,
it's really not that bad. Like especially a Zodiark, like if you want to run it with me sometime, you could just put a Dorito on my head and follow me around, because on that one, it's literally just like stand in the right place on the floor. And if you have one person in the whole raid who knows where to go, then everybody could just follow them. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I really want the Heidelin weapon.
Yeah, if I was going to do anything,
pretty.
I would want to do the Heidelin fight just to get some of those weapons, because they are pretty. But
Heidelin
again,
is stressful. I will not lie. Heidelin The biggest problem for me was the light wave phase where you have to hide behind crystals. And it's like you have to be, it's like the space that you have to be in is so narrow, and it's between you, the crystal in front of you, and the crystal that light wave is going to hit. And so I'm just constantly like one step off and I get creamed and I'm like, no. Although I've gotten to the point that I can farm it, but it was a steep learning curve.
Sounds like you're literally threading a needle.
Yeah, basically. And there's a bunch of like random steps to remember. And like, if she does this, then you do that. And if she does this, then you do that. And if you do the opposite thing, you die.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That to me, that is what raiding in Final Fantasy is all about. Is I really like doing the trials, and I've been doing them since Stormblood when I first really got into it with Byakuya, the Tiger Man, who would punch us into the sky.
I started to yell out "rejoice," and then I realized, oh great, that's not Byakuya.
But I did do that one too. That's Susamu.
Yeah, it's Susanoo. Yeah, my problem with wanting the trial weapons is that I know next expansion they're going to come out with crafted ones that have pretty gloves, and I kind of are going to want those more.
The books are meh; they're okay. The no list though, right now, are gorgeous.
Yeah, I've seen those; they are very pretty.
And so I've gotten my main weapon, and then I got like two what do you call it? It's like a cache that you can turn into any weapon.
Yeah.
So I use, because I did not heal Heidelin. Hell no.
Exactly.
I have healed Zodiark and I did it on Sage and it was pretty fun. But there's a lot of like, oh, everybody's reduced to like 1 health. Get them up. I'm like, ah!
Like, nope.
Yeah, Ward has watched me raid when he's not in the raid with me. It's just a lot of me like screaming. I'll like be like, no.
Oh geez, like I freaking.
I feel like you need to record this.
I probably should. Like I should just do. I'm terrible at like streaming, but maybe I should just record like a let's play or like here's me doing Heidelin.
Yes,
It'll be a bonus episode.
That is money right there. I mean, I did an alliance roulette on Sage and got the Ridorana Lighthouse, the freaking Stormblood one with the math robot.
Oh, God.
And I'm just sitting here going, why are you all so bad at simple mathematics?
Look.
Hey, Brandon?
Yes?
Is 1 a prime number?
Oh, God.
Oh my God. So
not getting into this again.
Ward has literally had to listen to me like, Ward, what's prime? What's prime? Maybe like a 6 prime? And he's like, no.
Oh, God.
Like, man, I went to art school, okay? I could draw you the best cat girl. Can I do math? No. Absolutely not. Oh, yeah, no, I hate the math robot. I'm so bad at it. And like so often I'll be like, haha, I got this. I totally understood it this time. And then it'll be like, and I'm like, what?
It took me a bit to understand the mechanics. Like, oh, okay, your health gets reduced to a certain number, and you jump on that number to add to match what he's asking for. Once I figured that out, I was like, okay, well, he wants a multiple of 5. Okay, my health's at 8. Where's number 2? There it is. Okay, good.
The multiple asks of math at once. Of like, you gotta add something to your life points and also know what he wants. I panic, man.
Talking and chewing bubblegum.
Real bad at it. And I'm trying to do a rotation? Fuck.
Yeah.
I figured I would suck at it because, when I was doing Sage Helix, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And half of my, go-to abilities have been synced down away. But never failed once. And I jokingly told the people in Alliance A, it's like, guys, I'm going to be real with you. If I don't see 4 check marks on your status symbols after this phase is over, you're not getting heals anymore.
Oh my God.
It worked. Only one person failed the problem.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Not everyone can math.
All right, yeah. Ninja, you're out. I'm down to 10% health. I don't care. You're getting incidental heals and nothing else.
I feel like people have been punishing me lately with healing. Because I'm gonna say something out here, and people in my free company, hi Sarah, hi Kaz, they know this about me. A little slow with encounter mechanics. I'm sometimes kind of bad at the game. I won't lie about it. I mean, I'm a 40-something-year-old guy. My reflexes are not as tiger blood as they used to be back in my halcyon days.
Tiger blood.
It just came out of nowhere.
Oh my god, that's great.
It's just not as winning as it used to be anymore. What can I say?
You're older than that reference.
I'm going for the deep memes here. Anyway, yeah. So my reflexes aren't that great. I get pulled into the bad sometimes, and I would say that I probably die more than the average person in an alliance thing or a raid thing or whatever like that. And Sarah has res me a number of times, and I appreciate it. I am trying to remember where the hell I was going with this now. Oh,
it's about math robots.
The thing is that this is why I will probably never end up doing Savage raiding, at least not when the content is current. And as far as Highland or Zodiac Extreme, that's probably going to be my end game, is attempting to do that and get carried on the backs of half the group.
You're like, man, I will bring you guys. We will kill Zodiac. We can do it. Like, I mean, it's not that bad. It's a lot, but it's all like patterns. And once you get the pattern down, it's a lot of like being in the right place at the right time and like remembering. Almost everything comes with like a verbal cue from the boss. So you'll hear him being like, "Oh, the glory of the final day is faithfully recreated." You're like, okay, I'm about to get hit with star paninis. Which
and I'm good with the star things, actually. The star things don't freak me out at all.
Let me explain. So
you don't have to explain. You're hungry. You want some dinner. I get it.
The way the stars work is you have to imagine it like a panini. Like the stars are on the top thing, and then the top of the panini press, and they're gonna press down onto the platform, and that's how you know where to stand, where is safe, because it's not like an exact like 1-to-1. It's like it's gotta flop down on it. I used to try to explain it by a DS screen, but apparently none of the kids these days ever played DS.
So basically, it's upside down from where you expect it to go on the platform.
Yeah, kind of.
Gotcha. Okay.
But and it's a lot of like everything looks really crazy, but really there's only ever one safe spot to stand. And so if you glance around and you're like, okay, there's 2 birds, it's gonna rotate this way. That means that I got to get into the spot where the bird is gonna be, and then. Basically, from there, I just get on the right bird, and then I see where everybody else is standing, and because it's like you got to get on one side of the bird or the other. And if like if they don't know, then we're all dead. So then it's not my fault.
Hey, if this expansion has taught us anything, we need to stay the hell away from birds. So I just want to say that I probably died 6 or 7 times on the final fight of Pandemonium First Wing.
Oh my gosh.
Vampire Man?
Yes. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, those mechanics took me. I mean, I watched a video beforehand, and those mechanics still took me a while to wrap my head around, and I still made stupid mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not great at it, and I've been trying to heal it.
Oh god. I've been trying to do it as summoner, and I did a thing I said I would never ever do. I couldn't see half the mechanics, so I turned my pets on small.
Yeah, my pets are still big, but it costs me. The other thing that I do is Falcon Punch myself to death is very common.
Yeah, I did that a couple times too.
Oh my gosh. In Heidelin, there's a point where she'll pull out a weapon, and depending on what weapon she pulls out, you either have to get in or get out. And so I like ran out, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm safe. And then I hit Ifrit, and I was like, oh, better hit my damage cooldown. And like the raid leader says that he just watched me fucking fly in, punch just in time to get obliterated.
I blade.
I'm sorry. I know there was a story there, but all I heard was that you were giving Heidelin the in and out.
Yeah. I mean, basically.
So,
She's-
Megan,
she's-
I do need your opinion on something.
Sure.
The Hesperos, the vampire guy. Your thoughts?
What about him?
Just in general, what was your reaction when you first saw him?
That he's here, that this is Daddy Issues the Raid. And he's the father figure leading up to the real daddy.
So at no point did you go, oh no, he's hot?
Not really. He's
Okay.
not really my type.
All right,
I mean,
fair enough.
He's got the anime dad thing going on, but I've never really... That's not my thing. Also, he's got the eyes and glasses thing.
I was waiting for you to mention
happening.
the eyes and glasses.
Yeah. He has the glasses specifically just so he can take them off and become evil, which is such an anime trope.
Yeah, accurate.
Which when we were first discussing this in Discord when it like first came out, Rare, you actually posted the gif of Aizen taking off his glasses and slicking back his hair in like one motion to like become evil at the end of Bleach. This is a Bleach reference, by the way, if you don't watch anime. Sorry for spoiling the only good story arc in Bleach, but I'm actually saving you. Don't watch Bleach.
It's named after a toxic cleaning chemical. I don't want to watch it as it is.
Oh, man. It was fine, and then it was great, and then it sucked. That's the curve. Anyway.
Although I will out myself, before I joined our free company's WoW chapter, I was a member of a guild in WoW that was literally just me, my two friends from college who got me into the game, and the few people from our old guild that we wanted to bring in, and it was named the Espada.
That's when it was bad.
I knew nothing about it, but they were super into it and wanted to give us ranks based on the members of the Espada. Like, I don't know what any of this means, but okay. And then they quit playing, and I joined AIE.
Oh my god!
And the funny thing about the eyes and glasses is,
yes,
what I watched that after I watched something else in which I kind of picked up on the reference. So for me, they weren't eyes and glasses; they were Ovan glasses. And if you ever played Dot Hack, then you know.
Which one came first?
I think Dot Hack came before.
I really would not put it because Chite Kubo, he likes his homage, and that's a nice way of saying. he references other things. But yeah, what was so funny about the Aizen reveal that I had forgotten because I haven't watched this anime in like 10 years plus is that when he takes his glasses off, he like runs his hand through his hair and it's instantly slicked back, and I'm like, he must have had a pocket full of hair gel. He was just walking around with a pocket full of hair gel for this moment. It's like there's no other way it would stay slicked back. Like what?
It's true. I mean, part of his abilities. I don't know.
It's a fun
bringing us back to Hesperos. I will say that for me, when it comes to Pandemonium, the third and fourth bosses are far more enjoyable, and for me, easier than the first two bosses. The first boss is not that bad, except, again, as Sarah and Cass will know, the purple flail thing that like takes half the screen, I miss that call all the time.
He's doing a little wind up. You gotta watch the boss.
Yeah, that I'm not used to watching the boss. I'm used to watching the floor for Final Fantasy XIV fights. So when we get into raids and you get into extreme stuff, it's like you gotta stop looking at just the floor. It's like,
yeah, actually, if you're just looking at the floor, like 9 times out of 10, the thing is going to show up. Not like you're not going to have enough time to get out. You got to know what's coming, and to do that, you got to watch the boss, and you got to read the cast bars, which is something that took me a while to figure out.
I can do you one better there. One of the things I've done over the past, since the last time we recorded, I have been farming for some Reaper Glam. First thing I did was run Katisas Hyperborea, which is, if you don't know the name, it's the dungeon in Elpis.
Mm-hmm.
And just running it ad nauseum because I wanted the Reaper gear there, the maiming gear, because you look like a freaking Nazgul, and I wanted that. It looked amazing. However, I also got the weapon, which I don't know if you've seen the Reaper weapon out of there, but it looks real freaking stupid.
No, so I don't think I have.
it basically looks like a giant bulbous crown on one end, and the other end is the Reaper blade, which is like hollowed out and has like metal roses and thorns in it. It looks real derpy, and I hated it.
That sounds awesome.
It sounds awesome in theory, but when you see the weapon, you're going to be like, ugh. So
Well-
I watched that Bad Wolfie video that I posted in the show Discord, and I'm like, okay, well, what Reaper weapon in the game right now is going to look great? Oh, the one from Holminster Switch, the first dungeon in Shadowbringers. It looks great. Let's do this. So I ran that with trusts over and over and over again. Now, I knew there was a definitive end time because when you complete the dungeon, you get a piece of gear for the job you have that you're currently on that you don't have in your inventory or your armory chest. So eventually I know I'm going to get all this. All I wanted was the weapon. I didn't care about any of the maiming gear. It didn't look all that great. It didn't fit my aesthetic, whatever. I got every piece for every slot before I got the weapon. And only probably 2 of them were from chest drops that I won the rolls on. Everything else was the gear piece you get for completing the dungeon. So, needless to say, I have run that dungeon an inordinate amount of times, and it's probably the first one I can remember where you have to watch the boss wind up his giant, meaty paw fist, smash, over half the arena and move from one side to the other.
That boss also gives me trouble.
Yeah, I have run that more times than I care to count, so I have no excuse for why I miss those damned flails all the friggin' time in Pandemonium 1.
Good training. I don't know. I can't explain how to do it other than look at the thing.
Oh, it's just a matter of changing how you pay attention to the fight, right? And the thing is, from all the normal dungeon content that I've done, like the great majority of it, most of the leveling dungeons, and even with the expert dungeons for the most part, if you look at the floor, you're fine. But as you graduate into the harder rating content and stuff, that's not necessarily the case. And it's just a matter of thinking differently. And it's kind of an interesting way of how Final Fantasy XIV does difficulty, right? It's because it's not as much about, at least at this point in the game that I'm playing, it's not as much about the numbers and the damage output and the stuff. It's more about like, okay, the beginning content, we really kind of hold your hand on encounter awareness and stuff, and as you get into more challenging stuff, it's a bit more subtle and you have to pay more attention while also doing your rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The thing is, it's not reactionary. It's very like, you gotta learn the pattern, you gotta learn the dance. And I really like that about it. It's frustrating to learn, but then once you learn it, it's extremely satisfying. And when you have like a full group that gets it, oh, it's so fun. It's so nice. It could also be extremely, extremely frustrating when, like, everybody except one person gets it, and it's super frustrating when you're the idiot and like you wipe the entire group, and you're just like, leave me. You're like laying on the floor, like, I'm not getting up. Oh my god!
It's funny that you bring that up because I realize now that when I have been queuing for Expert Roulette for the past 2 weeks. I've been getting dead ends like almost constantly. I'm hardly getting Smelton. I'm not getting Stigma. I'm getting dead ends all the time.
Sorry.
Now,
I hate that. Yeah, that's what's been happening to me, man.
Here's the thing.
I've got
dead ends isn't it. It's not a bad thing for me because I want to get the Starbird pet. But one thing, playing dead ends, I realize that with dead ends and some of the encounters there, I've played it so much now that I really don't need to look at the floor. It's like, I know, like, okay, this is the part where I need to move here. This is the part where I need to move here. You get to Rala on the final boss. It's like, okay, the Prance thing is coming up. Time to activate my sprint, go to where Rala is going to be and look for remember what the first circle he's created was. So it's not as much a matter of looking for where the bad is. It's knowing, okay, this is this part in the fight. So I've done that one enough now that it's almost muscle memory to me. And maybe that's kind of the thing, right? Maybe it's just I haven't played Pandemonium enough to get to that point.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to be one of those things that comes with time.
Yeah, well, there's also, on the final boss there's the part where you have to see which wing is glowing. and make sure
Right.
that you're in the correct
But I
side.
see that wing. And the thing is, that wing, the call out on the wing, it's relatively bright, and it's a color that contrasts very well against the rest of the stuff there. I don't know why I don't catch the purple on the first boss of Pandemonium. I don't know why I'm not catching it. Maybe
what you
because
need to
everything
look
else
out
is so
for
dark?
is when he starts out by like throwing the weapon down on the floor, and then he starts doing a little swingy swing with it. And then at that point, you have to be like, oh, and like run to the other side. It's mostly just like, once you see the first one, then you know that you have to keep moving. It's going to be the other side next time. And so, like, screwing up on just one, that's fine. Everybody screws up at least once.
Yeah.
But you just got to make sure that, you don't do it multiple times.
Yeah.
You will die. But yeah, Zodiac is not bad. Like, I have a lot of fun. The music's great. Heidelin, a bit scarier, I will admit. And it's very like, if you eat shit and die, it is absolutely your fault. Like, you did something. Like, healers can only help you so much. That's the other thing with extremes and Savage and all this. It's like, you screw up twice, you're dead. Like, there's so many like insta kill mechanics.
Well, and the debuff is like the damage that those bosses are putting out is such that, like, if you have 2 stacks of debuff, you're gonna die.
Oh yeah, totally. Even one sometimes, depends on the mechanic.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I don't know. I enjoy it, but I've been playing longer, and it plugs into my goblin brain in a good way.
Yeah. Kind of changing subject a lot, though, just kind of back to the 605 stuff. I will say that since the start of 605, I had 42 million gil when 605 started.
Here we go.
As of an hour before we recorded this podcast, I have 61 million.
Oh my god.
I made 19 million in a week.
How much is a mansion?
Just from selling freaking crafting related stuff?
Specifically, there is one food called pumpkin pottage. I got culinarian. I like fully. I went hardcore on crafting, even though I don't have any other crafting at 90. On culinarian, man, Gordon Ramsay better look me up. I'm telling you. I've got my gear optimized. I've got my materia optimized. I've got the right food, and I have the macro and everything now, and I can HQ the high-end master recipe raid crafting food, pumpkin pottage, like nobody's business. I gather all the ingredients myself. I gather all the damn rock salt that you need, HQ the rock salt so that there's no chance of failure when making the pumpkin pottage, and it's great. Like, each one piece of food sells for 5,000 gil, and when you craft the recipe, you get 3 pieces of food. So that's per craft, it's 15,000 gil. So once I have all the ingredients, which, I mean, I could do ingredient gathering almost while I'm doing other stuff, like just idling, doing stuff and just passing time. So once I have the ingredient gathering down, putting out that stuff, it's just, I'm printing gil. And on top of that, just taking advantage of, I had full aphorism tokens at launch. I cashed those in for mats. I sold the mats when they were really, really high, got a crazy amount of gil for them, and then like literally 6 hours later, they were still expensive but had dropped significantly. I bought the mats back and then gave them to my FC to have them create crafted gear for all of us. So I made a whole bunch of gil, and I helped my FC out at the same time.
Nice.
Did that. I had a whole bunch of bicolor gemstones. These crafting recipes use materials from there. Prior to 605 launching, I had done a lot of legendary node gathering for FC Crafts, but also I sold a lot of that stuff and made a stupid amount of gil. I had a bunch of materia. I sold the materia. I mean, I knew what I had done enough research and studying to know what the patch was about, to know that, like, hey, if I want to make an insane amount of gil, I need to prepare for it. And I prepared, and I came out 19 million richer. I will say, though, for the record, that 6 of that 19 million gil is from gambling. Because I did go to a casino a couple of times over the past week, and I did have some crazy, stupid luck. So 13 million gil from doing all the patch shenanigans, 6 million gil from doing what I usually do. It's been a fun time. It's the idea of opening a casino in Final Fantasy XIV, maybe at some point. I think, man, I feel like I'd have to get to, like, I need to have a house and like 100 million guild before I do that.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So it's a ways. But hey, I've taken a big step toward that dream.
Yeah, true. How much is the mansion?
Like, well, I mean, I don't necessarily gonna buy a large. I mean, even try to buy a medium. The largest plot's like 50 to 60 million, I think.
Yeah. I've got a little one. And I don't remember how much it was. It was only a couple mil.
I'll probably attempt to buy a medium.
More than enough for me.
Well, now it's going to be a lottery system now.
Right. Yeah, it's so, again, it's just dumb luck. I'll throw the gil in, and either I'm going to get it back after the lottery's done and I lost, or I'm going to have a house. One way or another. I have no idea how it's going to play out, but I feel like I kind of wonder how many, and I haven't been to the area enough to study it. I wonder just how many small plots are going to be available, because I have a feeling that this Island Sanctuary thing is a way to give players who don't have housing kind of an alternative. Like, I don't know how customizable and how much decoration you're going to be able to actually do with this Island Sanctuary. But if you think about it, could this Island Sanctuary just be them giving everyone essentially a free small house?
I mean, yeah. But I wonder how much it's going to be like Garrisons and WoW was, which honestly really sucks.
It's a good point, and I've had that wonder too. I mean, we're growing. You're supposed to be growing stuff and all that. It's like we don't know just how relevant Island Sanctuary is to other game systems. Like, is it going to produce mats for crafting recipes, or is it going to be just purely a vanity side game kind of thing? Which, if it is, that's totally fine, and I'm absolutely down for that. I actually do hope that it does not have a lot to do with the other game systems in terms of, at least in terms of crafting things. I don't want to necessarily affect the economy or player progression.
Well, the thing is, right now, when you have a house, you can have a garden plot and like plant stuff, and it is crafting mats. But the big thing is that you can plant the roots that you can train your chocobo with, and the fruits to change their color.
Yeah. Stavnarian onions are going for like 300k, I think, last time I checked.
Yeah, they are.
Oh man, so I tried to I used the AIE guild house to like change my chocobo's color like right before Endwalker hit, and I like screwed it up somehow.
Oh no.
I tried to I even used the chocobo color calculator, but I must have screwed something up.
No,
the order is important.
Yeah, that's the thing. No, I used what's really great about the chocobo calculator now is that they have a thing where you can click on it to be like, yeah, I did this one, I did that. They have like a list, and then when you click the thing on the list, it like puts a check mark over it. So
It's still not entirely exact. Sometimes you'll end up like a shade off.
yeah.
Mm.
So that's what happened.
I was trying to get my Chocobo turquoise the first time I ever used it, and it took me a couple of attempts before it finally came out the way I wanted.
Yeah, and lately me is not exactly rolling in dough, so
Yeah.
she has a dark red chocobo, and that's how it's gonna stay.
Speaking of chocobos, I do have a
Yeah.
question for you guys. How does a chocobo level up?
Map nights and fate runs are the best way to do it.
Yeah.
You're both wrong.
What?
You take them out questing.
Oh my god.
Why didn't you save that for another episode intro?
Because we were talking about chocobos and the opportunity was there, and I had to. Also, I may have a pretty big list of these.
Oh my god.
This coming from the guy who wished Megan and I a Merry Quemas
Yes, I
a
did.
couple weeks ago.
Well.
That's rough. How about like, what have you two been? It's funny because it's like don't have a hell of a lot of time left, but like if you were to sum up the past week for you guys, it's like, has it been much different from how you've been been playing Endwalker? It's like
Not really.
What has been kind of your big thing?
No, I finished completing all the role quests, and now I'm like, all right, the raid's been out enough that I can expect that most people know what they're doing, and I can follow someone's example rather than everyone being blind. So I'm going to do the raids one time just to see the story and see how bad the fights are. See if I want to, use this as a way to gear up week after week. And then basically I leveled my, 2 gatherers that aren't fishing, because fuck fishing, to max,
Yeah.
so I can collect maps and see that particular Studium delivery storyline, which by the way is kind of adorable, but at the very end made me feel like, wait a minute, did I step into a Hildebrand quest line?
I still need to do those.
I'm not going to do the fishing one because I don't like leveling fishing outside of, whatever the Gatherer Beast tribe ends up being. So I'm probably going to do one crafting profession for each of the 3 remaining Studium quest lines. And then I'm saving the rest for whenever the crafting beast tribe comes out.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to craft.
Yep.
But I got Sage to level 90, but I still haven't done the healing quest.
Oh, you need to. It is.
I know.
Of the 5 role quests, the healing one was far and away my favorite.
It's just I didn't want to do it till I had Sage up, because Sage is like by far my preferred healing class. Like
Yeah, I mean, I did it as Scholar, and I vastly prefer Sage to Scholar. Just in like gameplay and aesthetics, it beats Scholar pretty well. But I have a fondness for Scholar because I really, really like the Scholar job quests, especially the last one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I it's like I like Scholar and everything except that it's just so bland with the cast animations and it's like your fairy looks nice, but that's about it. It's otherwise like, here's a book I have. Sometimes I will point at things. Other times I will do a superhero landing pose, and that is the coolest thing I will do. Like,
She said as a summoner main.
Well, summoners now get to do a bunch of cool shit. They're like punching the back of their book and like fire punching people and like but I've always thought the summoner casting was kind of lame, especially after I did Red Mage for a while. But
I took my summoner through like some of the dungeons in Explore mode just to test out G pose with some of the summoner abilities, see what kind of cool poses I could catch them in, and they've added a fair bit of new animations, or at least animations that I don't remember seeing before that look really freaking nice now. So
I
make the summoner main joke, but yeah, they've definitely improved the animation.
It used to just be the pointing, and then also you would like put your arms out, make your book float in front of you. That was basically it, and like jump in the air when you did the Bahamut thing. But now it's like you throw the book at them and then you punch the back of it, like that sense magic flag out of it. I'm like, that's badass. I like that. But like freaking cool. Sage, it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna do a little aerial spin. Like, why? Like, I don't know, it looks cool. gonna throw my lasers at you. Do the friggin'. That's the other thing is like I don't want to get leveled down with Sage because once you hit like 82, 83, you start getting like friggin' orbital lasers and shit, and it's like all your laser effects get boosted up, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah, I mean your primary DPS attack for like I don't know up to whenever they do the first upgrade is it just comes out with these little pink red Q lasers. Then I don't know if it's like mid 80s or something. They start actually coming out like, pretty like solid line lasers at your target. And then at like 92, maybe 90 or not 92, 80, like during the Endwalker leveling range, I swear to God, I can't keep it straight anymore. They turn into these like really chunky looking lasers that just look amazing.
Yeah. And then your like bonus cool attack goes from like your Nolus like circling around them doing like little tiny pew pew lasers to like being a friggin' orbital laser firing from space.
Toxicon upgrade is just fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's like every time I jump into the MSQ roulette, oh man, this doesn't look as pretty as I'm used to.
No. But yeah, so mostly I just heal the expert roulette if I need tombstones or well, now Ward got a tank up, so I can just ride that queue. But the other thing I'm leveling is Bard, because I refuse to do anything that requires me to be close to the boss. I'm social distancing from the boss. You can't make me. You can't make me stand close to them.
But what about the melee role quest, Megan?
I'm gonna do it on Lily Me eventually. She's my Reaper.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm now up to 79, so I'm gonna be getting into. I haven't logged over there recently. I've mostly been on my main server, but
I blame you.
Yeah, I finally caught up to the MSQ on Reaper, so I can be the darkness officially, the tiny darkness.
So role questing. I'm gonna guess neither of you have done all 5.
Nope.
How many have you done?
Just the one.
Ro?
There's only magic range DPS, right?
Oh, God.
This is a cool quest, bro.
It is a really cool quest.
It is a great quest. It's probably, I would put it straight smack dab in the middle of the role quests I like the most.
Is taking any good?
That entirely depends on how you feel about Gridania. I have very low opinions on Gridania, so it's dead last for me.
We call it Gridan damn you, so
I enjoyed healer the most. I enjoyed physical range second, caster smack dab in the middle, melee fourth, only because I'd put it higher, but there's some NPCs it brings back that I really could just say fuck off forever. And then tank was dead last, which is, and I also did tank dead last, so that was kind of a bummer to end on. But what are you gonna do?
Well, I may never do tank, so. But yeah, I'll probably do the healer one next time I log on. I forgot. I only just got Sage up this week.
I mean, not needing to do it for any particular progression portion in the main story quest, and the only thing you really get out of it is the ability to dye your AF gear, which by the way, the Sage AF gear dyes really freaking pretty. So
okay. I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't want to cosplay Alpha now.
Yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to dye it. I looked at it dyed pretty much. I think the robes and like the pants and gloves, and then the weapons I dyed all red, and it looks really good. And I tried doing the same thing with like the bright turquoise that you only get from getting freaking Skydover scripts. That also came out looking very pretty. So if you don't want to cosplay Alphino, it dyes very well, and you'll basically you end up looking like a slightly different colored Alphino. But to me, it's enough of a difference that it ended up looking really good.
And see, I always end up, what I do, like the stereotypical thing I do is like keep the coat and the gloves and the boots, but then put a skirt underneath it because I'm a cat girl. God damn it.
So listeners, if you disagree with my ranking, come talk to me about it and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Great.
You can also send an email to us at apodcastreborn@gmail.com.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Well, it's funny because I have like a very, very rough outline of show notes as far as like things to talk about for this episode. I think we only covered like one or two of them. So hey, there's plenty to talk about in the next episodes to come for sure. It's hard to believe how fast an hour can go by talking about this game, and there's like, God, I still think about like how much of this game I have not touched, and it's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, we're just going to have plenty to talk about as 6.0.5 continues, and the free trial remains to be closed down, which is sad. And to my dear friend Ben Bumhofer, who can't currently play Final Fantasy XIV, all I can say is you can always buy the game.
No, you can't.
Oh man,
you can't.
No, you can't.
Wait, no,
yeah,
you can't.
They stopped.
They stopped selling the game too. I forgot about that. I thought they only stopped the free trial. Well, you can't buy the game, Ben. I'm sorry.
You're God.
It pained me to say that because I love Ben to death and I want him to play too. But yeah.
I literally got back in touch with some old WoW friends, and they're like, "What are you playing these days?" And I'm like, a game I'd really like you to come play with me, but I know you're not already, so
it's a critically acclaimed MMORPG, but I'll save the spiel for later. But as I said, we will have plenty to talk about in many episodes to come here for sure. Until then, Megan, how can people find you on the internets?
My Twitter at cat mom Megan, because I am a mother to my cat Butterscotch. That's the most identifiable thing about me.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I have links to my webtoon and my Tumblr and my art stuff.
And Brandon, how about yourself? You've been blogging lately about 14.
Unfortunately, not in quite a good while. Ever since FF14 Right 2021 ended, I have been very, very remiss in posting new content to my blog just because the sheer amount of effort that took. I've kind of been like, all right, I need a break for a little bit, but I am trying to get back into that. I have a bunch of stuff that I have planned that I want to add to my blog. Some of it's been posted on my Tumblr already. Some of it is new ideas that I just haven't had a chance to write down yet. But you can find me on Twitter and Tumblr. I'm at TheBmatt, TheBmatt on both of those. My blog is over at yourquestlogisfull.wordpress.com. And if you go to my Twitter profile, there's a link in there that will take you to links for everything I'm involved in. I've got, my D&D podcast where Ro here tries to kill me all the dang time. That's called +5 to Hit. And
haven't done it yet.
Hey, can we level up again, by the way?
I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, just check me out on all those spaces. And if I ever get back into streaming, I'm going to be over at twitch.tv/oldmanfranks, where you can watch me making duck recipes on Culinarian and feeding them to Merlewib because I need to get all my ducks in a row.
Don't put anything in a row, God damn it.
Yeah, please don't put anything in me. Wait, what? Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at RowWCR. You can find this podcast on Twitter at A Podcast Reborn. And as I said, you can email apodcastreborn@gmail.com. You can also catch me on +5 to Hit, where I DM a podcast where I try to kill Brandon on a weekly basis or every other weekly basis.
I play a mentally traumatized warlock. Leave me alone.
The theme for our show is Alex Moukala's Imagine the Boss theme for Endwalker. Do check out his YouTube channel for more great music. A link to it can always be found in the notes for this podcast. And, of course, any music like that you hear, any other derivatives of Final Fantasy XIV music you hear here, belongs to Square Enix. No copyright infringement is intended. That is going to do it for us for episode 5. For Megan, for Brandon, and always for Butterscotch, this is Brian Black. Until next time, may your loot rolls be high, your glamour fantastic, and your duties always complete.
And if not, select very easy the next time you try it again.